Ellie the elephant was a happy little elephant, full of boundless energy and a she knew so well. At the watering hole, Ellie's friends waited. Leo the clever monkey, Zola the adventurous zebra, and Jerry the gentle giraffe. Leo had a new riddle to share. Zola wanted to describe a field of colorful flowers, and Jerry had seen a family of tiny turtles. Each friend had a special story, hoping for a turn to speak. They loved Ellie, but wished she would listen to their adventures too. Friendship, they knew, was about sharing and listening. So they sat patiently, hearts full of stories, waiting for their moment. Today they hoped Ellie would hear them. As Leo, the little lion, prepared to share his carefully crafted riddle, a playful glint in his eyes, he paused, gathering his thoughts. He wanted to make sure he delivered it just right, a riddle that would spark curiosity and laughter among his friends. Suddenly, Ellie burst in, a whirlwind of energy and excitement disrupting the peaceful atmosphere. She charged into the clearing, her large frame shaking the ground with each step. She began trumpeting loudly, her voice echoing through the trees, as she excitedly shared every detail about her wild dream and the magical river of strawberry juice she had encountered. She described every single detail of her dream, barely pausing for breath, her trunk waving expressively as she painted a vivid picture with her words. It was as if she had been waiting all day to share this incredible experience. Leo, taken aback by the sudden interruption, slowly closed his mouth, his riddle still lingering on his tongue, now feeling a bit deflated. Zola's story about the beautiful, rare flowers she had discovered slowly faded into the background, overshadowed by Ellie's boisterous tale. And Jerry's turtles, who had finally perfected their synchronized swimming routine, were completely forgotten in the commotion. Ellie, completely engrossed in her own narrative, moved from one exciting detail to the next, seemingly unaware of the effect she was having on her friends. Her boundless excitement filled all the available space, leaving little room for anyone else to contribute. Her friends watched quietly, their initial enthusiasm slowly replaced by a sense of disappointment. They started feeling invisible, as their own stories and experiences were drowned out by Ellie's overwhelming presence. The circle, which was meant to be a place of sharing and connection, now felt more like an audience passively watching Ellie's one-animal show. Leo, disheartened, completely forgot the clever punchline to his riddle. Zola's beautiful flowers, once vibrant and full of life, seemed to lose their color, mirroring her own fading enthusiasm. And Jerry's turtles, sensing the shift in atmosphere, quietly slipped away, their synchronized swimming dreams put on hold. They genuinely loved Ellie's boundless energy and her infectious enthusiasm. But they also wished for a chance to share their own thoughts and experiences, to be heard and acknowledged in the same way. The once sunny and joyful day now felt a little less bright, a little less cheerful, as a sense of imbalance settled over the group. Sadly, Ellie, caught up in her own excitement, didn't seem to notice her friend's growing disappointment and quiet withdrawal. The watering hole, usually a place of shared stories and laughter, was now filled with words, but not with genuine sharing and connection. Eventually, after what felt like a lifetime of chatter, Ellie ran out of stories. Her voice, usually so vibrant and full of energy, finally quieted down. As the silence settled, she noticed her friends' sad faces. A wave of concern washed over her as she took in their expressions. For the first time, a profound realization dawned on her. It was a moment of clarity amidst the constant noise she usually created. She realized she hadn't heard a word from Leo, Zola, or Jerry. Not a single peep. They had been patiently waiting, unheard and unseen in her whirlwind of words. The quiet, once filled by her own voice, now spoke volumes. It made her think, really think, about what friendship truly meant. Maybe friendship wasn't just about talking, about filling every moment with her own experiences and thoughts. Maybe her friends had stories too. Stories just as important, just as exciting, just as worthy of being told. Ellie felt a little ashamed for not listening, for hogging the spotlight, for assuming her stories were the only ones that mattered. She decided to try something new, a complete departure from her usual behavior. She would be quiet and listen, truly listen, with an open heart and mind. Ellie sat still, fighting the urge to speak, to interrupt, to fill the silence with her own voice. Instead, she turned her attention to her friends, focusing all her energy on them. She smiled at Leo, a warm, encouraging smile that said, "I'm here for you." Leaned toward Zola, showing her she was ready to listen with genuine interest, and looked up at Jerry, her gaze filled with patience and anticipation. Ellie created a space for their words, a safe and welcoming space where they could finally share their own stories. It was a new challenge, a test of her patience and empathy, but she was ready to listen, truly ready to hear what her friends had to say. Leo noticed Ellie's quiet attention and finally shared his riddle, making everyone laugh. Zola described her field of flowers, and Ellie listened, imagining the colors and scents. Jerry told his story of the tiny turtles, and Ellie pictured them waddling to the water. Each friend felt happy and heard, the watering hole filled with laughter and shared stories. Ellie discovered that listening was as wonderful as talking. She realized friendship was about giving everyone a turn. The friends played, splashed, and shared more stories together. Ellie still loved to talk, but now she loved to listen too. Their friendship grew stronger, filled with both words and understanding.